We are now in Aleppo. This is the ancient part of the city that was under the rebel control before the Syrian army retook this area a year ago. Of course, the situation in Aleppo in general has improved dramatically, but the destruction here is a witness of the intensity of the battles that took place in this area, the ancient part of Aleppo. This area is largely deserted. As we can see, destruction is everywhere. But a few people remained here. They refused to leave because they are so attached to their homes and to their areas. Now we are at the entrance of the house of an old man called Abu Subhi. He comes here and sits at what used to be his portion. Abu Subhi sits here every day, remembering what his house used to look like. He refused to let go of his history in this place. مرحبا أبو صبحي.
أهلا سلامات.
يعطيك العافية.
يا أهلا وسهلا.
كيفك؟
دائما الحمد لله رب العالمين.
ليش عم تيجي تقعد هون؟
هي الحوش إلي أنا. هي الحوش صار عندي وبحبها كثير وبحب أبرك فيها.
He said this is his house. This is his area and he likes to come here and sit here every day. أبو صبحي أنت هلا مالك عايش بهالمنطقة هي؟
هلا كنت عايش هون لأني حوشي تعد 6 غرف وأبوين وأرض حوش وجب عربي حوش كبيرة يعني وفيها ليوان ومربع وكثير كويسة ويعني قصر ثاني.
He said that his house here was big. It was like a castle. He now he doesn't live here, but he comes here every day to sit and remember his house because he loved to stay here. اوكي ابو صبحي فينك نفوت هيك شوي على البيت نشوف. He sits here every day on this rug. هي شو كانت ابو صبحي قبل؟
هاي كانت غرفة الضيوف. هون كان في
This was his living room.
هون كان في عندي تحفة أنطرية كبيرة فيها مرايا وفيها أضوية وفيها هذا. غرفة الضيوف يعني يجوا الناس يصوروا حول الغرفة.
He speaks of how beautiful this room was before it was destroyed. He speaks of the mirrors and the lights. He said that his guests would come here just to take photos in this room. It's a tricky road, a tricky place to walk in now. صعب عليك تيجي كل يوم هيك بهذا
عندي عادي يعني لو طولت بالجاي لهون يعني بس برتاح نفسيا بالبركة.
He said that he has become used to come here every day, even though despite all of the rubble here, despite all of this destruction, and he comes here every day because he feels relaxed when he comes to his old house. هذا الباب شو كان؟
هذا غرفة بين البيتين كان. غرفة بين البيتين لأن هذا بيت كبير. هذا غرفة صغيرة وهونيك 4 غرف.
So his house is big. This is a corridor between 2 houses. Now we can see the destruction everywhere. We can see this is a chandelier here. It's still hanging. The walls are largely destroyed. This area has sustained a great deal of damage and destruction due to the battles that took place in this important area in Aleppo city. أبو صبحي ورجينا كمان شو.
طيب تفضل.
He said that climbing all of this rubble and broken furniture is not difficult anymore for him because he become so used to it.
يلا.
أبو صبحي في ناس لسه بتجي بتشوفوا بيوتها هون ولا قلال؟
قلال بيجوا. قلال بيجوا.
He said that he is one of the very few people who come to their houses here, the destroyed houses, to check on them and to even seek some sanctuary in it, remembering their history, remembering their lives here. أبو صبحي أنت كنت عايش هون طول حياتك؟
إيه عايش هون. هون ضليت عايش 7 سنين.
He said he lived in this place for a long time. He said he lived here for 7 years.
من هون من هون من هون من هون بتنزل على الأبو تشوفه؟
بعيد.
من هون.
اوكي نشوف. هي شو اسم المنطقة؟
هذا سوق جوخ إسقاط جوخ.
إسقاط الجوخ. اوكي.
أيوة.
So this neighborhood is called جوخ neighborhood.
من هون من المستودع.
بنشوفها من فوق ما بيأثر. Here he said that the basement of his house is down there. It's difficult to go to get
باب الحوش.
there.
هون باب الحوش.
وين باب البيت الأساسي؟
باب البيت الأساسي هون.
تحت.
تحت.
Under this used to be like a roof. Underneath it is the main door to his house.
هون باب المستودع. هون باب المستودع. هون لقدام شوي باب المستودع هون هالطرف. ايوه.
So this is what old Aleppo looks like. Broken houses, destroyed places. Destruction is everywhere actually. And this man is one of the very few people who remained here, who refused to leave their areas, and he would come here every day to stay here. Of course, since last year when the city was fully liberated from the rebels who were controlling this part, the security situation has improved dramatically, but the destruction is still here. It's still a witness. And we're here a year later seeing what the people are doing. And Abu Subhi is one of them. Okay, we are standing on what used to be the roof of his house. ابو صبحي هذا البيت بتصلح ولا لا؟
هذا البيت ما بتصلح الا بده هدمان كله وشيل.
وطيب وانت كيف حاسس تجاه انه بده ينهد ويرجع ينعمر مره ثانيه؟
اذا ما رجع مثل اولته يعني ما بطلع بالشيء.
He said that the remain of his house cannot be repaired. His house needs to be totally destroyed and rebuilt from scratch. Okay, Abu Subhi says he has a shop nearby. Before the crisis, he lived here, and it would take him 2 or 3 minutes to get his shop where he sells tablecloths and other table toppers and stuff like that. Now his house is destroyed. He cannot live here, but he comes here every day to relax. But his shop is still open, and he did not close his shop even during the crisis. He left for a brief time, and then he returned, and he was one of the first people to return to the old Aleppo marketplaces to open his business again. Now we are taking the road to his shop. ابو صبحي هذا الطريق على محلك ما هيك؟
هذا الطريق برا منه على المحل السيد. كان مثل جيت الطريق من هون نظيف، ما كان مغسول نظيف على طول نظيف، يعني ما بتلاقي وسخات بالحاره طابق.
He said before the crisis this road was very clean, not a single garbage or dust here, but now as we can see it's full of rubble and destroyed concrete. Now we're taking the same road he used to take when he used to go to his shop before the war. As we can see, the guy is very good at climbing this thing because he comes here every day. ابو صبحي شو بيعني لك بيتك هذا المدمر؟
هذا بيعني لي يعني اغلى من اولادي كان على قلبي.
He said that his house meant a lot to him, and he said that he loved his house even more than his own children.
يعني البركه فسطه والكاسه الشاي ولا الغداء ولا هذا بترد الروح.
He said sitting there inside his house and having a cup of tea is enough for him to restore his soul.
يعني كنا نمرق هون بالمربع نشوف الاوتيل الفندق الكبير نشوف باب جنين منطقه يعني منطقه بترد الروح راقيه وما في صرع ما في صوت ما في سيارات ما في شيء.
He said the area was so quiet. He would sit at his house and he would watch nearby hotel and another marketplace here in this area, and he said the view was amazing. As we can see, the destruction is so huge. It's beyond imagination. أبو صبحي أنت بحياتك تخيلت إنه ممكن يصير بهالمنطقة هيك؟
لا طاول. أنا طلعت من هون بالبيت آخر واحد طلعت بالحارة رفع إيدي لفوق ما شلت معي شيء طاول. ما طلعت لوحدي طلعت أنا ومرتي وبنتي.
He said that he was the last person to leave this area when this huge destruction happened. He said he never imagined that such destruction would take place here and would cause this huge loss. He said when he left his house he went without anything.
لأن في ضرب علينا مسلحين من هذا الطرف والجيش السوري من هالطرف.
He said that they were caught in the middle of the battles between the rebels in that part of the city and the army at this side. So when they got caught they had to leave.
اطلعوا مباشرة على الجيش السوري رافعين ايدينا لفوق استقبلونا بس الحمد لله هذوليك ما ضربونا.
As we can see, the picture speaks for itself. Huge destruction that had befallen this beautiful city. This area that has heritage, that has a history. He is surely faster than me. So again, we are now in Aleppo, in the ancient part of the city that has sustained a great deal of destruction due to the battles that took place here. The army took this place a year ago, and now everything is safe in terms of the security concerns, but the destruction is everywhere. And people are here. There are very few people who come here. They come because they are so attached to their places, and they feel that their souls are here. Abu Subhi is one of them. So now we are inching closer to the road, to this man's shop. لا سلم ايديك.
يعني المهم متعود صعب عليه.
صعبة. قد ايه صار لك تروح بتيجي هيك؟
كثير صار لي 6 شهور. 6 شهور بالجمعة مرتين ثلاثة بدخل، مرة بدخل، مرتين بدخل.
بتشرب شاي هون ولا لا؟
بعد وقت بجيب البراد والكاسات.
He said sometimes he would bring the tea from his shop and he would drink it there in his house to remember the old good days. He's helping me. He's very good at climbing this rubble. He said it's hard, it's very difficult for those who are not used to climb this rubble to come here. خلاص اوكي يعطيك العافية.
مثل ما بقولوا الخطر وشي الشباب. نساعده لا يكون هذا حنزل انتبه ايوه
This part of the city is full of stories, full of sad stories, but also full of stories of determination. How people here are challenging everything to have their lives back now that the situation has become better. But of course, the big challenge is how to restore the buildings, how to rebuild this destruction to have their lives back. As we can see, there is not a single road to this man's house. These places used to be shops and buildings. We can see one place here, the people, the building is still standing, so the people could actually did some rebuilding and reconstruction, renovation as well. This is a sign of the life that started to return. We can see passers-by also. Most of them are people who live nearby, and those who would come here just to have a walk in their old areas. This is something that is very hard to understand. So now we are going to Abu Sabhi's shop, the place that he still lives.
معمل جرارات تبع التركتورات تبع الفلاحة. هون معمل جرارات فوق.
He seemed to have a few customers waiting for him. This is his shop. This is the place he works at. He comes here every day. When the situation got a little bit better, he returned here, and he is one of the very few who reopened their business here. أبو صبحي احكي لنا شوي كيف رجعت رممت محلك؟
والله أنا أول ما جيت يعني من 6 شهور 5 شهور ونص جيت لقيت ما في حيط، هون مخروب، هون مضروب، هون مضروب، باب ما في، كله ما في. يعني رحت على الحوش لقيتها كلها متدمرة، ما في كمان حوش، ما في شيء. بركة انظر تبكية، حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. رجعت معي عربية من الدولارين كهنة. على العربية هي نقلت عليها البحاص والنحاتة والشمنتة
انت بايدك سويته؟
بايدي نقلتهم على هي. لحتى المي نقلتها عن ساعة تخرج. هون مي ما في كان عندنا.
When he returned to this area after its liberation, he came to his shop and he found it destroyed. Of course, he briefly left when the battles got intense. He briefly left, and when the army took this area, he returned quickly. He was the first to return, and he found his shop destroyed and his house also destroyed. He said he started crying. He didn't know what to do, but then he used this cart to bring some materials, and he fixed his shop by his own. He fixed his shop by himself. طيب ابو صبحي، هذا المكان انت محلك هون مكان مدمر، في عندك زباين بتجي؟
ما في، قليل. قليل ميكل.
طيب ليش عم تفتح؟
بفتح بقول للناس اني في عالم فاتحه بالمنطقه القديمه بحلب القديمه، تو يا ناس كلياتنا بنساعد مع بعضنا، بلكي بترجع. يعني مثل ما رجع باب جنين، مثل ما رجع المحلات الفردوس، الفرقان، كلها رجعت، ونحن بنريد نرجع كمان.
تمام.
بس بتمنى انه يرجع يفتح النفوس. النفوس يرجع يفتحوها، الناس نشتغل، برجعوا العالم كلياتهم.
He said that he almost have no customers, but he still come here every day and open his shop because he want to tell the people that there is a life here and to encourage people to return to this area. ابو صبحي ورجينا وين بتعمل الشاي تبعك؟
شاي تبعك كان اللي حطه فين؟
كنت حاطه هونيك هذيك المره ما؟
كنت حاطه هون مرة.
Okay, this is what this, and he said that
هذا تايوان. هذا
صيني.
صيني.
These are made in China. And he could retrieve these from an old storage he had.
هذا سوريا صنعنا نحن. هذا صنع سوريا صنعنا نحن. هدول بيوت مروحة. بيوت مروحة أجمل شيء موجودة للمروحة السقفية. بيوت مروحة كمان شغلنا نحن.
These are covers for the ceiling fan.
طقم كامل. طقم كامل. 5 قطع. 5 قطع. طقم كامل 5 قطع.
وهدول قدما عندك؟
هدول من القديم ما هو جديد.
هاي بضاعتك القديمة؟
ايه.
تمام.
هاي بضاعة قديمة.
ورجينا وين بتشرب الشاي وكذا؟
شاي هون مثلا في عندي كاسة أو في هاي الشاي. رجع هاي الشاي. هاي الشاي. حطوا معه. أيوه.
He makes tea here every day when he's here in his shop. This is his favorite drink.
أهلا أبو إبراهيم. إيه. هون بنظبط الشويات بنظبط البركة طول نهار بيربوني في حمامات بينزلوا يحطوا لنا الأكل بياكلوا.
He feeds birds here every day, so he kind of created his own daily activities because obviously he has no customers. This is هذا أنت حاطه؟
إيه أنا حاطه.
Okay, this is the food that he put for the birds in this largely deserted area. ابو ابراهيم ابو صبحي
إيه.
شو بتتمنى للسنه الجديده؟
للسنه الجديده بتمنى كل الناس ان شاء الله بخير. الناس كلها بخير. بس
بتمنى
الناس كلها بترجع لمنطقه خوان الحرير لحلب القديمه مشان ترجع تحيا.
He said his wishes for the new year is that for all people to return to this area, to Khan al-Harir Street in Old Aleppo, and to have their lives back and to fix what could be fixed and revive this area once again.
هي ما هي حلب. هي الدنيا.
He said that this area is the mother of the world, not only in Aleppo. شكرا أبو صبحي.
نية السلامة يا
شكرا.
أهلي وسهلين.
شكرا. Okay, this is another person who also lives here. تعرفنا بحضرتك؟
ايه خياخ ابو ابراهيم.
حضرتك عايش هون كمان؟
عايش هون.
أنت مثل أبو صبحي كمان من القلالة عايشين هون. كمان. So this guy, his name is Abu Ibrahim Maher Khayata. He said that he didn't leave this area, unlike Abu Subhi who left briefly, but this guy remained here. وين بيتك أبو إبراهيم؟
بيتي فوق الخان جوا ومن الحارة من هون بسوي جولة أنا ليلا نهارا.
This guy, he said that he used to guard shops before the crisis, but during the crisis أنت بخلال الحرب كنت عم تحرس
تحفظ منطقة.
So before the crisis he said that he used to guard these shops. The merchants here or the shop owners would ask him to look after their shops in the evening, to guard it from any robbery, and he said during the crisis when the war was raging he remained here looking after these places even though it's destroyed.
أمان إن شاء الله الحمد لله بأمان صار يعني وقت نهاية صار في أمان الحمد لله. وإذا حدا وحدة ماشي بنت حرمة حدا تعدى فيه اللصوص لأنه أنا بكون مراقب على هالشيء.
He said that he keeps on looking after these places even though they are destroyed because he is faithful to his job.
أشياء غير لاختصار.
طيب ورجينا هون. هذا سوق كمان.
هذا سوق خان المستوصف، في تجار من قديم.
اه
من 70 سنة أنا هون حارس المنطقة، والحمد لله الدولة كلها بتعرف إنه أنا.
So he said that he has been guarding this area along with his father for 70 years. This is the gate to like a shopping compound inside, several shops inside. Let's get inside and take a look.
مستوصف خيري. هون كنت أمد الحصى يصلوا بالجامع جوا، ومد برا.
هلا هذول كانوا محلات.
هاي المحلات أقمشة تجار.
These are shops. They were selling fabrics.
تجارة أقمشة.
Something that Aleppo is very famous of.
تجارة أقمشة، وهذا جامع خائن مستوصف. جامع خيري. هذا نظفته أنا.
And this is a mosque inside this small compound. He said he cleaned it from the rubble. ليش لساتك هون؟
خلقان هون، أنا وعائلتي وأولادي كلها خلقان هون بهالمنطقة هاي.
He said he was born here.
من عمري.
And his children as well, so he cannot leave this area. And he's still looking after it even though it's destroyed.
هلا بنظف، جاي من الصلاة، هلا بباشر بنظف.
So he comes, he clean every day. هلا انت بيتك اللي فوق كنت ساكن فيه من زمان؟
بيتي فوق من قديم، من 70 سنة نحن هون، على زمان أبوي.
He said that he has a house on top that he lived here. He's been living here for 6 years. He was born here.
لجوا نازلات من القصف.
So he's basically the guardian of the destruction now. Before the war he was the guardian of the shops here. كيف هي كل يوم
بنظف بكب برا لما ينضف الخان.
He said that every day he
صار لي 4-5 أشهر بنظف.
He removed some of the rubble outside. This area was filled of rubble. This is what he does every day.
هاي الشجرة كل سنة بكسحها.
طيب كيف تطلع على بيتك؟ ما عادش نطلع البيت عندك؟ So now we will climb up to his house.
من هون ومن الحارة، من الحارة كذا بنطلع. يلا 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 يلا.
هلا هذا مكسور الدرج ما؟
هذا جاي صار.
He said a rocket hit here and the stone ladder is destroyed, the staircase is destroyed, but he put some wood here so that he could climb to his house. هاي صورتك القديمة؟ This is an old photo of him taken 30 years ago. This is what he looked like.
هذا بيت القديم اللي نازل بالقصف. وفي جزء يعني الحمد لله عايشين فيه ومستورين.
هذا هيك لورا.
هذا لورا ولتحت.
So هذا قديم، بيت قديم.
قديم، ايوه قديم كله.
أثري يعني.
ايوه أثري ايه. هذا كله نازل من فوق.
So he said that because their house was big and this is the ancient part of the house which is obvious from the structure. He said it's destroyed, but this part of the house is still standing. So this is why they live here. But the other part is totally destroyed.
من هون دمار كمان، الواجهة راح تقع للحارة. هذا خطر، إذا واحد بيطلع من هون ما عم نطلع من هون نحن مشان يصير يقع.
He said that this is another entrance to the house, but it's dangerous to use this entrance because the wall could fall at any minute. He said it's dangerous. Any stone that may fall could kill someone. And this is the sign of the house. It said Beit al-Khayata or the Khayata house. This is the family house.
تطلع لفوق.
في لسه لفوق؟
في هون، هذا محل بيتي اللي نزل.
Okay.
يلا. وهذا محروق.
This part of the house was burnt. We can see the suit is still on the wall.
غراض كلها شايفينها تحت حارقينها.
فرجينا.
من جوا تفضل. يلا. عم نلاقي بعض اغراض بالكاسات وشغلات كلها تحت
اه
مطموره هي. يعني بلاقي بعض شغلات هون
اه.
بالاوساخ هي اللي حارقينها.
So he said that he sorts the garbage to see what can be used from all of this. This has been taken from under
من طنجره من
the rubble.
كاسات من صحن من
Pots,
معالق
dishes, spoons and
كلهم
forks.
مدمرينه لتحت حارقينه.
This is the entrance, this is the gate there, and we can see the destruction fills the landscape.
الدمار والبناء هي.
طب ابو ابراهيم، انت وين بتقعد بالعاده؟
بالاساس
وين بتقعد بالعاده؟
ببرك هنيك انا بطلع براقب انه عم بروح منه بيجي.
فينا نروح
إيه،
نشوف؟
تفضل. يعني حدا راح حدا شيء.
So he does his usual job of guarding this area by sitting on that old chair over there to look at the passers-by. اه
مشان الصوبة مكسر فيها.
اه.
مكسر فيها دفات شو صوبة على الحطب.
دفات شو يعني خشب؟
لا خشب، مكسر خشب.
اه
خشبات هول.
صحيح، هلا الدنيا شتاء بتكسر.
مكسر صوبة على الحطب.
اه.
هي هون ببرك انا. بطلع فيها.
He said that he uses this to break to cut wood so that they can use it for heat in the winter.
هون بيجوا بتصوروا على الدمار بيجوا بعض الناس بيجوا بتصوروا.
وقت انت بتقعد هون؟
ببرك هون براقب حرمة معدي حدا تحرش فيها.
So he said that he sits here every day to do his everyday job of looking after this area.
شوي ارجيله بحطها هون.
طب انت كيف بتصرف على حالك باخر الشهر؟
التجار بيجوا بيعطوني.
اصحاب المحلات نفسها.
المحلات مو باخذهم سياراتهم بغسلهم هن. بطلع عليهم محلاتهم بنظفها.
Okay. He said that the owners of these shops, even though they're not here anymore, but they give him money to as a monthly payment to make a living and to also keep looking after their shops, even though they are destroyed.
هات لنا جرب هوز، هات لنا خدها على البيت. هون فلان شغله يعني. خذ السياره ودينا هي، جيب لنا هي دخلها جوا على الكار.
He said that he also does other services for them to wash their cars or to bring them some to run some errands to them. هذا المكان انفجر.
كله تفجير.
من تحت الارض ولا كيف؟
لا من جوا، من جوات البناء.
He said here in front of us there used to be a building and it was bombed during the war.
الناس بروحوا على قلعة حلب.
هدول رايحين على قلعة حلب.
قلعة هي يجوا يتفرجوا.
هدول ساكنين جوا؟
لا هدول بيجوا من غير حارات.
طيب ليش برايك ناس بتجي ليش ناس بتجي بتمشي هون؟
بيجوا بهالطريق بيتفرجوا على الدمار وهن
بكون عندهم بيوت هون مثلا او شيء؟
ما في منهم كان عندهم، منهم ما عندهم. اهل المحلات لهم محلات.
He said that some passers-by come here to look at the destruction and to go to the ancient citadel of Aleppo.
عسكرية وبوط أضام اللي طالعون هون اللي بيستشهدون.
He said that under the rubble there might be some bodies after the explosion. انت يعني كيف حاسس وجودك بالمنطقة؟ انت مرتبط فيها المنطقة؟
مرتبط، ما بحث انا اذا بضل عمري كله اذا بتوفى طالما هالناس عتوب تجي وهالتجار هي وعم تطلع علي، والامن بالله مأمنين في محلاتهم انه انا عم راقب على هالمحلات وهالتجار وهالناس هي اللي رايحه مثلا هي ما مع جوزها، هي البنت لوحدها ماشيه بطلع من هالشيء هذا الناس، لانه في ناس ما بقى بتامن به انه ماشي لحاله.
تمام. He said that he would never leave this area and that he would rather die here than going anywhere else. And that as long as there is still people coming and going and he will remain here and he will never leave.
جنب الامن العسكري امبارح عندهم انه هنيك نقطه انا هون، ان انا بشوف اكثر ما يشوفوا هنيك، انه هنيك عم براقبوا هنيك، انا براقب هيك وبتمشى بالليل بروح بجي.
اوكي.
بال10 11 12 8 بروح مثلا
يعني بضلك للساعة 12 عم تحرس؟
ايه 12 وحده بفيق بالصلاة الصبح بصلي الصبح.
So he keep also a night watch also to look after this area and to make sure that
في محلات في محلات حيفيد.
تمام.
بطلع على رزقهم
So this is what old Aleppo looks a year after its liberation. Security concerns, no problem, but this destruction is huge, it's still there, and we heard the stories of some people who refused to leave and who would remain here till their last day. Of course, these the kind of stories are inspiring, and at the same time it shows the determination of the people who are so attached to their areas and who would never leave their homes no matter what.